love our intros so much. You did such a good job.
Okay. Hello and welcome to our Don't Cover Pretentious.
Hey, guys.
Season 2, Episode 2 review, Star Trek Discovery. Or, as it's better known in online circles, the CBS Shill Show.
Oh, man, yeah. What was that about?
I don't know. People, anytime you like Discovery, people just call you CBS Shill.
Let's do this after we do the important part. What did you think, Paul? Episode 2, gut reaction. Yeah.
Not as good as Episode 1.
Okay.
There were parts of it that really bother me, and we'll get to it. Overall, though, I thought it was still good. There were lots of good things in here. Let's say if this was an episode of, let's say, The Next Generation, this would be like an upper tier, it wouldn't be with Best of Both Worlds or anything like that. But it would be just slightly below that.
I have a question for you.
Okay.
What the heck happened to Pike?
Yeah.
When did he find Jesus?
Okay, so here's what
Pike.
Here's what I'm starting to think.
That was rich.
He hasn't necessarily said whether or not he's religious now, but yeah, you kind of get that idea.
I feel like next episode we're going to take communion together.
I don't remember. I haven't watched The Cage in a while, and I can't remember if he was religious in that. I don't remember. Either way, here's you want to know my honest thought about that?
Yeah, what was your honest thought about
so
it?
there's going to be spoilers. So there's no spoiler-free anything here. Is full spoilers. I'm starting to wonder if Pike is actually Pike. I'm beginning to think that maybe Pike isn't actually Pike, and the Enterprise is not actually the Enterprise.
Oh man, it crossed my mind. I said, man, wouldn't it be a dick punch if they pulled another Lorca? But this time it was on Pike.
Yeah,
it wasn't a real. Oh yeah. No. Yeah, please don't.
To be fair,
don't do that.
To be fair, you did bring that up, and I totally forgot about it. I just thought on my own, later on, I was like, oh man,
because that one chick, May.
Yes,
we called that really early. That lady isn't real.
That lady's not real. And it turned out she's not real.
She's not like other girls.
No, and nobody else seemed to notice her. Yeah. Right. So anyway, I will say
it's Jesus, right? She's Jesus. It's all going to be Jesus. In the end. What if it's all Jesus at the end, Paul? What if it's all actually Jesus in the end?
Like the real Jesus.
The real Jesus.
The Jesus of Lazarus.
Nazareth.
Fuck me. I got it mixed up with Lazarus.
Yep. They're going to come get you from Kentucky now.
I know.
All right.
I was talking to somebody about this the other day. They were asking me a question about the Bible or something like that at work. I'll tell you who it is later. But anyway, somebody at work was asking me a question about the Bible, and I was trying to explain it. Yeah. Because, we work with a lot of non-Christians, right?
Yep.
And I was trying to explain it to him. And I was like, I'm probably not the best person to ask here. I've been out of the Christian game for a while. Yeah. So you should probably check with a higher authority. So I directed him to another person that we work with that you know who I'm talking about. But anyway, I don't know if it's going to be, I don't know. I don't know what to make of that. But so I'm of two minds on what if Pike isn't really Pike.
Yeah. On
the one hand, it would suck because I don't want 2 seasons in a row where the captain
Paul.
They pull a switcheroo with the captain.
Something just happened to me. I just had an experience, Paul. Are you ready?
Okay.
I know what it is. Okay. I know what Pike is. Are you ready? You're not going to believe it. Do you remember when he stands up at the beginning of episode 1 and he says, "I'm not Lorca." He is Lorca.
Oh God.
He is Lorca.
Oh, God.
He's Lorca.
Calm down. That literally hurt
Paul,
my headphone.
It hurts my head.
R.I.P. headphone users.
He is Lorca. He is Lorca, Paul. And they're even going to play the shitty flashback, and it's going to say, "I'm not Lorca."
Well, okay, because to be fair, we haven't seen Prime Lorca, right? Mm-hmm. We only saw Mirror Universe Lorca. So what happened to Prime? We assume that he actually died, but technically, I don't think he did.
I've already got a Life is Eternal theme going. It's going to be the Lorca.
The Lorca.
The Lorca.
They're going to bring back Jason Isaacs.
Yes.
Yeah.
And because he made another context remark.
Yes. Yeah, I made a note of that because you were like, huh, You mentioned the context is key. So later in the episode, he said, what did he say? He said, context alters our perception.
Yeah.
And you immediately said, context is for kings. I was like, oh shit. Yeah. That was a line from season 1.
Yeah.
I mean,
I would buy that for $1.
Yeah.
I'm into that. I like that a lot.
Okay.
Sorry.
So things that we liked. What did you like about the episode?
You go first.
Well, okay, I'll go first. Okay, so the thing that I like the best and the thing that we keep seeing throughout this is like the ships or the shots of Discovery. They're so good, and we get so many good shots of Discovery. They're great, and it looks majestic. I've always liked.
She's got a nice rear end.
Yeah, and I also made a note of this too. They keep showing it.
I want to be on it. I want to be on it.
Could you not?
I'm sorry. Carry on.
Okay. Anyway, they keep showing it with like apparently it just flies around all the time with the shuttle bay doors open.
Yeah,
and like it's like
well, they broke them. They broke them getting the rock in. I guess.
I don't think so. No, because they were doing it before then. They did it a lot in season 1 too.
Enough. Try to be generous.
Yeah. So look at this, and this was really cool. It showed Discovery in orbit around the planet. So they go to the planet, and it turns out it's. What do they call it? Terra Elysium or something
Terra
like that?
Elysium, yeah.
Nice mix of Terran and Elysium.
Yeah.
Good job on that one. Anyway.
Yeah, it's a mishmash of things.
So they showed it orbiting Terra Elysium.
Yeah.
And it was upside down. I was like, oh, that's a shot we don't get in old school Star Trek. And then there was also this shot, which I was like, dude, this is straight out of a Star Trek movie. We used to get these shots all the time in like Generations and First Contact and all that stuff. Such a great shot.
Mm-hmm.
Such a great shot. And so that's one thing that I loved. Other thing that I loved. I still like Pike. I'm interested to see where it goes.
I like him a lot less.
I'm hoping, I mean, it's not going to bother me as much if he's religious, but it does feel a bit weird.
I don't even like how Burnham reacts to it. I don't even like how she's like fighting with him. I wish she would just be like, "Oh man."
Well, so Jason is what we refer to as a militant atheist.
Oh yeah, so I'm liberal and Paul's extra liberal, but Paul's an atheist and I'm extra atheist.
Extra atheist, yeah. Atheist squared.
Oh, they're not here they don't care about that.
Yeah. Anyway, so I don't have as much of a problem with that. I find it weird, okay? But anyway, other things that I like. Tilly was still good in it. Stamets, I thought, we're getting some interesting storylines about what if he goes in and like when he goes into the mycelial network and he sees Hugh. So I'm assuming that's how Hugh's going to come back, because we were wondering how are they going to get Hugh back into season 2, because his neck broke in season 1.
Yeah.
And we kind of saw it in episode 1 where it was like, oh, he left a hologram behind.
Right.
But I think he's probably going to see him in the mycelial network, because he did in season 1. So I guess that makes sense. I was just hoping they wouldn't go back to the spore drive.
He's going to have a new mycelial boyfriend. And Stamets is going to be all upset.
It's going to be Mirror Universe Stamets, remember?
Oh, man.
Anyway. No, it's just like, I'm interested to see what happens with Stamets. Tilly was so great. I thought Saru was great in this episode. Really showed some leadership, especially in the scene with Tilly, where she gets knocked out. Right? We go back to this picture here. She gets knocked out because she's trying to get that piece of the asteroid, so that she can create a new energy source out of dark matter. Right?
Yeah.
So it's stamped, so they can use that for the spore drive.
Did they get to keep the rock?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah. I figured. I realized immediately whenever they did the rock. When she's like, I need to pull it with something heavy. It's like, okay.
Yeah,
I know you did too. We both. Everybody realizes pretty quick.
But I was like, maybe they'd only use a part of it. I couldn't tell if they just used a part of it.
I got a deeper thing here. So So I realized obviously they're gonna have to use the rock, but I guess what's gonna happen is they're gonna gain something from every place they go that has a red dot, right? And they'll have to use what they had last time to get the new thing.
Oh, it's like a scavenger hunt.
Yeah, kind of like that. Yeah. That's what
I won't like that.
That's the impression I got. Right. So somehow that hat will matter.
So let me finish here.
Sure.
Things I like. So I do like what we do. I won't like it if it turns out to be a scavenger hunt.
Mm-hmm.
But I do like what they seem to be doing with this season, which is the arc of the show, the red, whatever these things.
Yep.
are going to take them to these different places. And so they keep showing up. And I think that's like a segue or a way to set up, hey, we're going to have this overarching story, but we're still going to have these self-contained episodes where there's just a plot line that is begun and ends in that episode.
Yes.
And that's what we did here, right? We got, New Eden. That was the name of the episode. And we saw them, right? Yep. They go to New Eden.
Yep.
And then we get a conclusion at the end of it. It's not one of these things that's going to take multiple episodes.
Yeah.
This is like a self-contained storyline, but it fits within a bigger storyline.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So I like that. Again, I like Saru. I liked Michael in this episode. I thought she was really good. I don't have a problem with her not being that militant against his, beliefs and all that stuff.
Yeah, it's not like she was raised on Vulcan or anything. Hey, so
okay,
but
that's why she's non-believer.
I don't like the names of the description of Scavenger Quest. So let's call it a barter quest.
Okay, I don't know what to do with that.
Okay, sorry. What else do you like?
I would say I like that we're seeing a lot more of the rest of the crew. So we got the one woman. What they call her, Joanne. She's normally the helmswoman. She went down in the away team with him. Yeah. I have no idea how to pronounce her last name, so I'm not even gonna try. I need to look it up.
Yeah.
But anyway, and then of course we see a lot more of the bridge crew, and so I really like that. There was a mention that Tilly's the youngest person ever accepted in a command training program. That was interesting. I don't know what to make of that yet. I'm not sure how that fits in canon. So, but I'm not super worried about that right now.
What's her last name? Do we know her last name?
Tilly?
Yeah.
I think we learned it in episode or season 1, but I don't remember.
I hope it's Janeway.
I liked Jacob. Jacob was cool. He was the scientist dude on New Eden that was like, hey, I know they're not religious, right? And the last thing I'll say was when they talked about, hey, they left Earth after World War III, and I was thinking back. I was thinking back to First Contact. And I was like, oh, it was like April of what was that? It was like 2053, I think. And then they said later, like, it's 2053. So I have in my notes here. So see, directly coincided with World War III, 2053, I think. And then later on in the episode, I was like, it was in 2053. I got it right.
Bravo.
My memory is shit, and I still remember that from First Contact. I've seen it so many times. Anyway, so that's what I liked.
Yeah, I don't know. There was not that much to the episode. I mean, it was nice.
It was a nice episode.
It was solid. I was entertained. I like the Tilly stuff. The ship. I'll say everything on the ship was dope. I'll say that. Yeah. I enjoyed all the ship stuff.
We didn't get any stupid shots of wide open caverns with nothing in them that makes no sense.
Which one?
You remember that shot in in episode 1 where they were like, it showed them getting the turbo lift and it showed the turbo lift going around.
Oh, yes.
And it was like, there was like worker bees floating around inside the ship. I was like, what the fuck are we doing here? The ship's not that big. So there's none of that this episode. That's great. But yeah, anyway. Okay, so was that all the things you liked about it?
Ooh. Yeah, the ship stuff was just about all I liked. I liked the ground stuff was fine. It's just a sore spot for me because it's so stupid, and they couldn't even help but make the lead church lady dumb. Like, she was clearly just like, they made her out to be a simpleton. I mean, I guess good on them for not making them straight up barbaric, but like,
yeah,
I don't know.
But they are from 2053, so
yeah, at least it's true.
Well, and they
what if they got?
That's the other thing. What happens when you combine Christianity, Judaism, Islam, Hinduism, Buddhism? What comes out the other end? I don't understand.
What does youth Shinto rock sound like?
Yeah, no, but not even just that. Like, what ideology can you form from, Judaism and Christianity, which are in a lot of ways directly at odds, right?
Yeah.
And contradictory on kind of the core fundamental issue, right?
Yeah.
And then you just throw like Hinduism, which is polytheistic.
Yeah.
And then you throw, now Shinto, which is like almost nationalistic. It's not even really what we consider like, an Abrahamic religion type thing. Like, what comes out the other end when you throw all those things in a blender? I just don't understand how you get a coherent religious ideology out of that. Like, say what you will about Christianity. We're atheists and all that stuff. but there's at least some level of top level coherency in the religion, right?
Hey, I'll say this: I'm surprised that this religious community it seemed I don't know how to say it, racially egalitarian.
Yeah,
I'll give them that.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
that's
fair.
That'll be a first.
That's fair. Yeah, especially in churches.
Yeah, I mean, the church runs the society.
Yeah.
I mean, oh man,
You dance with who brung you.
oh, just imagine. I'm sorry, I'm wailing on you guys so hard, but like, just imagine if like we got to save one little part of the earth to rebuild society. It was the Baptist church. God damn it!
But it wasn't just the Baptist church. That's the thing. It
I know.
was multi-religious.
I know he's standing there he has the gall to stand there in front of that guy and it's like you gotta get there on your own. It's like we started with the church.
Yeah.
You use science and you won. We're not gonna get there, man.
Yeah. Well, you gave him a power cell.
Yeah.
Right? I should get off this picture of Tilly.
Yeah.
Being jacked up. Anyway, speaking of the churches here.
Yeah.
Right? And then you do see, the red angel apparently. So like that's also a thing. Oh, and the soldiers. I didn't even notice the soldiers there on the left.
That is dope.
And then the nuclear bombs on the right.
Yeah, it's pretty. It's really cool.
That's interesting.
I bet they hired real artisans.
That's interesting.
Next
Artists.
picture. Let's go through the pictures. Let's go
Artists.
through the pictures.
That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
So then there's Jacob. That's the awesome shot of Discovery.
Yeah.
Well, this is Tillery talking to the girl who's not real, or she dead AF.
Yeah, or not that girl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is why I'm starting to think like Pike maybe not real because she's not real. So I'm thinking like, okay, this red angel species is like putting a vision into her head, but maybe it's also manifesting as Pike.
Paul.
And I'm of two thoughts of that because on the one hand, I'm of two thoughts on that. On the one hand, it would suck to see second captain in a row.
Yeah.
End up being a smoke and mirrors. But on the other hand, maybe it would make the fucking canon purists shut the hell up.
Yeah.
Because they could be like, hey, guess what? The Enterprise wasn't real. Yeah, I know they said there's no power, and yet, everybody's like, oh, but the Bassard collectors are still on, and the warp nacelle chillers are still on, and, all this stuff is going on, and then but it's just being towed, and we saw it fly, so how did it not have any power? And I'm like, maybe they could just be like, okay, it's not real. Maybe will that make you happy? Will that make the canon purists happy? Will that make you happy? Will it?
Paul.
Will it?
Paul.
Will it?
I have really bad news because I just guessed something that's going to be true.
Okay.
You know how that girl isn't real because she's dead because we know her to be dead.
Yeah.
We know that about Stamos's ex too.
About Hugh.
About Hugh.
Oh.
Yeah. He's probably whatever that girl is.
Yeah.
That's what he is.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a misdirect because here's how we're gonna find out that Lorca is actually Pike. Here's what we're gonna find out. You ready?
Okay.
He's gonna say something.
Okay.
That's like super duper smart related to quantum astromechanics.
Yeah.
And we know that can't be Pike because he got an F in that.
Oh, he got an F in astrophysics, yeah.
That's how we're going to figure it out. Because Michael Burnham happens to be an expert in that kind of crap, right?
Yeah.
And she's going to go, well, that was pretty on point, son.
Yeah.
And he'll be like,
Didn't you get an F?
Didn't you get an F? And
Yeah.
he's like, I read it in a magazine.
Yeah.
Sports
No, I got an
Illustrated.
F, and that's why I studied harder.
It was in
or something
Sports
like that.
Illustrated. I read it for the articles.
Do you think Sports Illustrated will still be around in 2260?
Yeah,
whatever?
but it'll be talking about quantum physics. It'll be quantum ball.
All right. So things that I don't like about the episode. Let's just go into that. All right. Let's start with this. Tilly's new hair. I don't know. I just found it interesting. I found it interesting not because it looks good or bad, but because it looked a lot like Leia.
I like a lady who can do her hair different ways, and I like ladies who like Leia. I'll say that too.
Okay. Well, you're more of a Star Wars person than I am. Burnham was mean to Tilly when she came in, and when they were like found the new signal, and Tilly was like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I was using your station to do something," and then like. And then when they were coming up with ideas, Tilly came up with an idea, and Michael was like, "No, that won't work." And then she gave this other idea, and I was like, "Oh," and Tilly looked sad, and I was like, "Oh, I feel bad."
I think that was a missed thing. I don't think that's what she was doing on that console.
No, I don't think so either.
Yeah, okay.
I have to go back and watch it to see what was
It
really
looked like
on there,
resumes to me. I think she was looking up her competition or something in the program.
I think it probably was too. Because it looked like profiles of Starfleet profiles and stuff like that. But I'd have to see it again to know for sure. I don't like how Stamets says fungi.
How does he say it?
Fungi.
Ooh.
Not a fan.
Ooh.
Okay. Here's the thing. Here's one other thing. I don't like that apparently Joanne, that the crew member that went on the away team, she grew up in a Luddite collective.
I don't know what that means.
I don't either.
And
well,
she
I
was
know
of no
Luddite
particular
is.
use in the
I know.
in there. I noticed that. I was like, isn't
Well,
she the
no.
Jesus-y one? Isn't she supposed to have? I don't
No,
know
she
what
wasn't
Luddite-
religious.
What's a Luddite?
Luddite are people that don't use like technology. They don't believe, or they're not happy. They're not happy with technology.
Oh.
But yeah, but that's what I found weird. I was like, okay, so it seems like if you have a Luddite collective in the 23rd century, I feel like there's probably a religious component to that because I feel like most of the world isn't on that wavelength anymore. But she was very clearly like, oh no, we're non-believers. And I was like, why are you Luddites? I'm very confused by this.
Yeah.
Maybe they just like to live simply. I don't know. But just the phrase Luddite collective,
Oh,
I didn't like
man.
it. I didn't
mean,
like it.
Does that mean that she's one of those people like where they let them out for a week or something to figure out if they really want to be in the faith?
Amish?
Yeah, and well, she's not Amish, but it's the same kind of thing. Like she,
Similar. Yeah.
and then she
it's
just
what it
didn't
sounded
go,
like.
She didn't go back.
It's what it sounded like. Let's see. What else did I like? Oh, here's the biggest thing I didn't like about it. Apparently, like Starfleet directives, they're just like guidance at this point. So multiple times, like right at the beginning with the spore drive, they're like, hey, Starfleet shut it down because, you know, we have a law against genetic experimentation. And the only way to get the spore drive to work is that Stamets has to be the navigator.
So are you telling me that the guy who claims to be not like Lorca, when under pressure, did what Lorca would do?
Exactly.
Oh,
He did literally the thing
that Lorca.
He was like, because they were like,
obviously, right?
Yeah, because they were like, oh, well, during the war they made an exception and all that stuff, and then he's just like, oh yeah, well, this is also really big for the Federation, so I'm sure we have leeway. Let's just go ahead and use the spore drive. And I'm like, you didn't even check? You didn't even check with anybody?
Because he's Lorca, and you know how we'll confirm it. We'll confirm it. You know what will confirm it is when we meet Giorgio. When we meet the other Giorgio, when they interact, I claim that she will know.
She will know.
Yes.
Well, she'll know, and then she'll try to. They'll start working something out in the back.
Yeah. They'll have a strange rapport.
Yeah.
They'll be strangely familiar, even good or bad. Well,
okay.
It'll be a reactive when they meet.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And by the way, it wasn't even just that, because then later on, because then the whole thing, they find this planet and they're like, hey, prime directive means we can't interfere with people, right? And then it's like, oh no, it turns out that we can, because the signals are really important. So we just go down to the planet and make contact with them. And then we tell, like they end up telling Jacob, like, hey, turns out, let's see, where's the picture? Like, hey, he ends up going back, telling like, hey, no, I'm totally from a starship.
Yeah.
I'm just going to beam out right in front of you.
Well,
and I'm like, okay, so spore drive, genetic engineering, genetic tampering, totally fine. Prime directive, General Order 1.
Yeah.
Totally. We could just ignore it because these red signals are really important. Why are the red signals so important? A war, I can understand because it's a war and you almost lost. Desperate times call for desperate measures. These are just like some red signals out there.
There's a real easy way.
And you broke General Order 1.
Lorca. So
when did these things become? It doesn't feel very Federation to me.
I hear you. And he's supposed to be the by the book guy.
Yeah.
You know how this bites him in the ass later? Is the black guy? What's his name? Jacob. He is going to come back.
Yeah.
At the head of a galactic jihad.
Oh,
right.
That's dark.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, here's the thing, because remember at the end, Pike says to him like, "Hey, I hope we meet again," and the other guy says like, "I'm confident we will." Did you catch that?
Mm-mm. Oh yeah, I did, and that's what made me think it. I was like, yeah, I bet.
Yeah.
I bet you come back ooh.
Anyway,
so do you want to do this? Do you want to do the CBS shill thing now?
No, I don't really. I don't really want to address it.
I just took it as a compliment. That's what I was saying. I was like, if you think that this is funded by CBS, well, thank you.
Touche.
I appreciate that a lot.
Did that animation, the opening animation, give it away?
Yeah, I know.
It looks like it's straight out of Discovery.
And hey, let's be honest, man. Hey, if CBS, if you're listening,
we could use some of that Discovery money.
We can come on right after. We're very willing to come on right after Star Trek.
Just give us advanced screenings of the episode. Yeah. It'd be great.
No, I still liked it. I still liked it. I was entertained the whole time.
Yep.
I don't hate the episode.
No.
I especially don't hate the episode if it's Lorca. Because here's the thing.
I will hate it if it turns out to be Lorca.
There's so much more because
it will piss me off more than when I found out first season was Mirror Universe.
I think it would make it better. As long I could do that.
No. I'm done with Lorca. Like, can we just move on?
Yeah.
I'm just not a fan. Anyway, overall, it's still good. This still feels more like
a recommend.
Old school Trek. It's still a recommend.
Still a recommend. We're
getting great visual effects. They're clearly trying to make more out of the crew. The rapport seems to be better. The tone is lighter, even in what was definitely a more serious episode than the premiere. But it still felt lighter. It didn't feel as dark as season 1 did. And so I'm still excited to see where it goes, and I'm happy. I'm excited to see if we, like I said, keep getting more of these. Like, we're just covering one story, one plot line
I loved it.
in an episode
for sure.
So I'm still very excited to see what comes next, but I have qualms with this episode. Not as good as episode 1, but I kind of expected that because I really liked episode 1.
Episode 1's hard to be top with episode 2, but
yeah. What do you mean? The Naked Now is the best episode of Star Trek ever. Star Trek Next Generation.
Is it?
Do you not remember that?
I don't remember what the second one was. What was it about?
Well, okay, so Star Trek TNG, the premiere was to
Q
be fair, the premiere was the 2-parter.
Of Q, yeah.
Yeah, with Q and the jellyfish, Farpoint. And then, so episode 3, but it was technically the second because of the 2-parter. Episode 3, though, was The Naked Now, which is the one where they recreated that thing from the original series where there's like a virus or whatever it is that makes people act drunk. That's the first time, like Tasha Yar, she has sex with Data.
Oh, that was the second episode?
Yeah. Well, the third episode.
The third, yeah, but I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah. That's the first time we hear, like, I'm fully functional, programmed in multiple techniques. So, anyway. So, yeah, this was a better second episode than that. I'll say that for sure. All right.
That's all I got.
That's all I got to. Overall, still a recommend. But we'll be back same time-ish next week. So they seem to be going live at 8, not 8:30. So we're going to try to be live sometime around 9:30 on twitch.tv/don'tcallmepretentious.
Leave your predictions and questions in the comments. We will read them because there's not a lot.
Yes, and if you watch it live, comment in the chat and we'll talk about them once we wrap up the review.
It's your chance at fame, baby. Let's do it.
Yep. So as always, if you're watching this on YouTube, like, comment, subscribe. Feel free to share. And again, we'll get this posted up as soon as we possibly can after we record it. And then every Wednesday, 8 p.m., we stream our normal gaming-centric / politics podcast on Twitch, twitch.tv/don'tcallmepretentious. And then on Thursdays after the episode we record, we also stream on Twitch. And then that goes up as soon as we can. So until next time, I've been Paul.
I'm Jason.
And boldly go where no CBS shill has gone before.
I don't like it.
You don't like it?
I don't like it, but I like you.
You don't like lots of things.
But I like you.
Fine.
Bye.
Bye.